Willie, welcome back. You look great.
Jimmy, how are you, man? Good to see you.
Great. Nice to see you as well. Thank you for coming on the show. Obviously, some devastating news in Los Angeles. I saw you recovering this morning.
Yeah, we were on from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We had the fires in Los Angeles County. We had Jimmy Carter's funeral. It was a wild morning. But, man, you wake up, and you were just talking about it. You see some of these images, and it's sort of a cliche, but it feels like something out of one of those apocalypse movies. You can't believe what you're seeing from overhead, and every one of those pictures is a human story. I know a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, who, like you said, are going home, place isn't there anymore. Yeah. And so now what? It's like, are we moving to a different city? How do we find a new school for our kids?
Yeah, all of this stuff, brutal. And also like, also it's not on their terms. You know, it's Mother Nature doing what they could. They can't even fight the fires because the winds are so strong.
And that's the thing. I had friends I would talk to yesterday morning and say, we're fine, don't worry, thanks for checking in. By that night, they're like, we're out of here. We got to go because those winds are so fast and shifting so quickly.
These firefighters are doing such great work. By
the way. They are, and it's an impossible job, yeah.
It's an impossible job.
The head of the Cal Fire, the fire department, and the head of the LAPD just said, we've never seen anything like this. This is unprecedented. We're doing everything we can. We're getting as much water to the places that need it as quickly as we can, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. I saw you cover. You did a great job covering that this morning, but also the President Jimmy Carter's funeral, which I thought was lovely and a nice, respectful way to say goodbye.
You know, we've become this political culture where there's no such thing really as dignity or bipartisanship or any of those things. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this is a rare moment today in that church, in the National Cathedral in Washington, where there was reverence and respect. And it is such a tableau. Every time a president dies, you see in the first couple of rows all these former presidents who've been at each other's throats during political campaigns, who've said awful things about each other in the past, sitting there, like, as you pointed out, President Obama and President-elect Trump.
Yeah, they were, look at
this. Reminded me, you know when you go to church, like with your brother, and you're whispering and giggling in church? And who would have thought these two
would be
sitting, whispering and giggling in church?
Yeah.
But it was nice to see, even if it only lasts for one morning. And, you know, Jimmy Carter's story, he was a one-term president, and people have different thoughts about what kind of a president he was, but this is a guy who came from a tiny town in Georgia, Plains, Georgia, was a peanut farmer, and rose to become the most powerful man on the face of the earth for 4 years. It's an amazing American story, and he had a great post-presidency, his work with Habitat for Humanity and human rights, and so a man who was well remembered today.
Yeah, well said. I was watching on Morning Joe this morning. How's everything going over at Morning Joe?
It's going great. Yeah. Joe, Mika, Barnacle, we're all there doing our thing.
Tell them I said hi.
I will.
You guys do a great job over there.
Thank you. Yeah, I think like a lot of people after the election, everyone's like, okay, you're coming back, you're doing this again. I think people probably went down for a couple weeks during the holidays, gas up a little bit and get ready. And
now you're back.
You know, there's a lot of talk about how do you handle Trump. For me, honestly, nothing changes. You know, you hold the guy to account. And when he does something that violates norms or violates the law or whatever it may be, you call him out on it. But you play it straight and you cover him the way we're going to cover him. So we're ready to do it again.
You do
Trump
great
2.0.
Say hi to everyone over there for me, please.
I will.
What did you, speaking of the holidays, what did you do for the holidays?
Good holidays. We were home for Christmas, and then after we went to Universal Theme Park. Come on.
Universal Studios. Someone I know has a roller coaster there.
Do you know there's a Jimmy Fallon ride there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have our own ride at Universal. Thank you. Please sit down. Please sit down. They're storming the stage. Yeah, we worked hard. That is one of the most hardest working things that we've done. Thank you.
It's an amazing ride, and it's one of the first rides when you walk in the park.
It's right there. And
you hit the Rip Ride Rocket, the roller coaster, and then it's right to the Fallon ride.
I don't even know if you need that first one. You just go right. How many times did you ride it?
Here's the catch. So I'm about to turn.
Willie, please don't do this to me.
Well, hold on a second. I'm about to turn 50 in a few months. And apparently something happens to your equilibrium when you get old.
What?
And you can't, like, spin and go backwards and deal with simulators the way you used to. And so I was always the guy with my 2 kids. I would ride any roller coaster, upside down, backwards, the water slides that go straight down.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I can't get on a roller coaster without getting off and just kind of like walking sideways and like falling into the churros kiosk on the way out.
Really?
And so I'm just gonna say it right here on your show. I did not do the Jimmy Fallon ride this time. I'm not proud of it.
This is unbelievable.
I hang my head in shame.
Yeah. Wait, but you can. Mine's a simulator.
But you weren't alone. I didn't do a lot of them. I skipped. I did the Rip Ride Rocket.
Like you took your family. He said, "I wouldn't let my family ride it."
But
no one's allowed to ride the Jimmy Fallon.
If I can't do it,
no one's doing it.
But I was the guy who I've never been.
Yeah.
We had a huge group of 20 people going on these rides. I was the bag holder. So everyone's like, hey, can you hold my hat and my glasses and my backpack? So I'm standing outside all the rides with like 18 backpacks.
And I was like, that's Willie Geist.
Yeah, they're like, hey, how you doing? You going on the rides? No, I can't do that anymore. I'm old.
You're not old.
I got reading glasses. I wake up in the morning. I walk like C-3PO for a little bit.
That's ridiculous. That's your choice.
I
just did it. I did all the roller coasters. In fact, you know what I got to see? I got to see a sneak peek of Epic.
Oh, I cannot wait.
The Universal
That's
Epic
the new
theme park
next year.
It's not open yet. Yeah,
Universal.
it's massive.
See, they let Jimmy in. They did not ask me to go
the
You
would have loved it because it's not open yet. You just walk around.
So sad.
There's no roller coaster yet.
But you're a big roller coaster guy. Like, you'll go on anything, right?
I did anything with the kids. What I do is I just keep doing them. Then I feel weird. And then I just take that weirdness and just ride it all the way through. and then when you're walking around, it don't affect me anymore. I get on the roller coaster, it doesn't. I go ahead, spin. Try me. It doesn't do anything. Either way, it's gonna spin.
I wasn't a total shutout. I did like some of the rides.
Yeah.
But I paid for them. You know, like felt it like into the night at dinner, like kind of leaning sideways. Yeah.
I want to talk to you about your appearance on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
More
with Willie Geist when we come back. Come on back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're hanging out with our friend Willie Geist is here. I want to talk about Sunday Today, by the way. Look at you have one of the best mugs in the business.
Good mug, isn't it?
Yeah, you have a great mug.
Yeah, thank you.
It's big. But, yeah, it's a good.
You could bathe an infant in our mug.
I do like this mug. Yeah, I want to talk about Sunday Today, but first, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I didn't get a chance since the last time you came on. You were fantastic on
thank you.
The final season of Curb. You and Larry. What's it like? How did you end up on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Totally surreal. So I was trying to get Larry David to come on my Sunday show. He was putting it off. One day my phone rings. I'm standing in my backyard. Yeah. It's an LA number. Oh, let's take a shot. Roulette. Hello? Willie, it's Larry. Larry David. Larry, like, we're not friends. He doesn't call me a lot.
Yeah, so like, is this a prank?
He called me, and he goes, I heard you want to interview me. I'm not going to do it. He's calling me to say, I don't want to be on your show. And I said, so we talked for a while. He said, but I have an idea. What if you came on my show? And I said, on Curb? And he goes, yeah. I said, I'm not an actor. I don't know what to do. You'll be fine. And like, from that call to the moment I got on the plane, there was basically no more communication. It was like, just go ad-lib with one of the great ad-libbers of all time for 2 days. So I went out to LA. It was a 2-day shoot.
Did you have lines?
Well, it was like they say, it's an outline. So there's no line really. There are a couple lines you have to say to move the plot along. But otherwise, I was like, hey guys, what do I do? I'm like a TV anchor. I'm a news guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, just riff with Larry. So I'm like, what? So I riffed with Larry, but the beauty is, first of all, he was so supportive. He laughs really hard, you know, Larry. He was like, that was great, that was great. And then they just shoot a bunch of takes, and the ones that aren't funny sit on the floor, and the rest of them go in the show. So I had no idea what they were going to use, but I can't say enough about how much fun it was, how surreal it was, and like how supportive he was for a person, in my case, who had no clue what he was doing.
Yeah, I just love that he's actually like that in real life.
Totally.
Yeah.
He was great.
And it's like, don't try to be anything else.
Yeah, I mean,
he's great.
I would say that's a bucket list thing, but who puts that on their bucket list? I'm going to be on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but you did it.
Yeah.
Did you watch your episodes?
I did. I was on the plane home from Universal last week where I didn't ride the roller coasters, just to bring that back. And I was on the menu on Delta looking for something to watch, and I saw the episode, and I almost touched it, and then I thought, don't be the guy watching yourself on a
That would
plane.
be such a good TikTok,
So
by the way.
I pulled my, yeah.
You have to do it next time you go on a plane. You have to watch yourself and have someone TikTok from behind.
I pulled my finger away.
How lame Willie Geist is watching himself.
God. Don't you get
and laughing
canceled?
laughing really hard at yourself.
Rewinding.
Yeah, this guy's brilliant. Everyone should watch it. I had a best time. I've done Sunday Today a couple times
Yes,
with you.
you have. Yeah.
And you were nice enough to have me on when we were celebrating our 10th anniversary of The Tonight Show here. And thank you for doing that. You actually came. We have some photos here. Here's you.
Okay. This still, even looking at that makes me uncomfortable. So this seat, the seat where you're sitting right now is sacred. This is the Tonight Show desk, the Tonight Show chair. I have no business in that seat. And Jimmy was like, when we talk in the interview, why don't we switch seats? And I fought you on it because to me, it's like sitting in the Oval Office behind the Resolute desk. You earn that chair. You're the President of the United States or you're the host of the Tonight Show.
Yeah, but I've known you for a while.
Yeah, we switched for a couple of minutes.
I don't remember this photo. And what is happening here?
I was trying to...
What are we doing?
I wish I knew. The best guess is I think you were telling me how the studio, as you all can tell, is a little smaller than it looks on TV, and you were saying, look how close I am to the band. I think it's about 6 feet. And we didn't have a tape measure, so we just took a person who was 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you're 6. Yeah, so 2 6 feet. That's how far we are.
So I think that's 12. Is that 12 feet? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 12 feet. So
that's two human people measuring stuff.
You're about to celebrate your 9th anniversary, by the way, on Sunday Today.
It's a weird anniversary, right?
Yeah. It's fantastic. 9 years.
9 years. You know,
congratulations.
Our mutual friend Andy Cohen mocks me for celebrating off anniversaries. He's like, "What is this your 4th anniversary?" That's not. Wait for 10. 9 is not a thing.
No, I think
but it's amazing.
We're
a year or so behind you, and it's been amazing. You know, we've got people like you who are willing to sit down with me for an hour or so and have great open conversations and
you're doing something really fun, a live one.
Yes.
Are you going to do more of these?
So this is brand new. So we have coming up next week on January 22nd, we're doing our Sunday sit down, which we do on the show every Sunday. We're doing it live in front of an audience like this. So we're taking it to a theater here in New York at City Winery with your buddy Nate Bargatze.
Oh my gosh. Nate Bargatze's unbelievable.
Nate Bargatze.
He's one of my favorites.
Who was so generous to like take a flyer on this first try. And so he agreed to do it, and I said, we're thinking about who would do it. I said, well, let's get somebody who knows how to work an audience, who's funny and can do all that, and Nate's the guy. And so I thought, I don't know how this is going to go. So he and I appeared on the Today Show to promote it, and it sold out in 8 minutes. And so I would like to think that was me, but it also might be the guy who sells out Madison Square Garden doing comedy.
No. Everyone's there to see Willie Geist.
So
Come on.
Me and Nate next week, and we hope, based on how the tickets have sold, we'll do more of those, and maybe this guy will come in and do it one time.
I'll do whatever. I'm a big fan. I knew I love you.
You're the greatest.
One of the best. Willie Geist. Catch Sunday Today with Willie Geist. Sundays at 8 a.m. on NBC. More Tonight Show after the break, everybody.
Hey, hey.